It's time. What's it time for? The Lestaria informational stream. That's what my purpose here isn't to like expound on like every intricacy of the story. It's more just to say why I think people would be interested in it and how exactly I'm planning on posting and formatting it and such, because I think those are important details to talk about. You really shouldn't have asked, actually, though, just saying. My silly web novel. Serial story. That's a bit different from like I'd say most web novels. Instead, I'm gonna be posting rather than like daily or close to daily, weekly, because the format of it is a little bit interesting in the sense that it's a bit hard to break up. Like it's like the chapters aren't long. It's like the average if you read a book, that's the chapter length, but that could be a bit intimidating, I feel, for most web novel readers. So the format hopefully will help you break into chunks throughout the week so you can digest it by next week. I'll go into it a bit later. Also the setting, let's talk about the setting a bit. It's a bit of a combination of fantasy and futuristic. I wouldn't necessarily call it sci-fi because of the magic aspect, like more so dominating the setting a bit more. But there is definitely like touches of like future stuff like AI, space travel, etc. But it's a bit different due to the nature of the world being one that has like no real concept of war or anything. Do they have concept of peace? That's an entirely different question, but they don't have anyone to really like defend themselves against other than themselves, so it's a bit of an interesting world. And this story, while it does have our central viewpoint characters, our main one being Erna, she's actually been officially revealed, so I could say her name. She's gonna be like the central viewpoint. It's a bit more of an ensemble story, where it's gonna be focused characters per arc, and protagonists are probably the central POV for a good chunk. The way I plan on sectioning it is, how I plan to do it is I'm gonna have the central narrative, which will be presented normally, like, chapter 1, and you have writing, and that'll be from the central protagonist. I do plan to do a bit of color coding with the format. They'll have these segments called asides. They'll be labeled asides, and they'll be put in a separate document to the main text that's meant to be read at least alongside, like maybe take a pause and like go to the aside and then read that, and then you can return to the main text, but you can also read it all after. It's an interesting experience either way, but I feel like this is like the biggest way to make it easy to digest. You could read like the entire main section and then maybe like in a couple days read the aside and then read the other one, and then boom, you're all caught up. Hopefully easy to digest format that also provides a bit of an easy POV switch between characters, because that's always a struggle in writing. Okay, but what's the plot? I just wrote read the summary. Why didn't I actually put the summary in here? Okay, there it is. Summary. Erna di Belmonte may be the most polarizing figure in all of Lestarian history. The Lestaria Empire, a union of 6 planets under one flag, has stood strong for thousands of years. Filled to the brim with amazing technological innovations and magical power, its origin can be credited to Erna di Belmonte, who has since faded into the annals of history books. After many failed attempts to recapture old glory, an unexpected encounter with a dangerous organization may be what she needs to become the hero she craves being once more. After resolving herself to charge after a group engaging in the trade of dangerous, legal magical weapons, she recruits a range of eccentric and desperate citizens to aid her cause, getting them in far more trouble than may be worth. To depart from the known and dive into the throes of danger is a perilous sacrifice, but Erna won't let fear hold her back, even if it means stumbling into wounds once sealed within the depths of her memories. Considering this story is called Depart from the Harbor of Memories, I'm going to be saying the word depart a lot. Where will be posted though? My website. I know there's websites like Royal Road and like Web Novel and such that people like to use, but I found that with the format I wanted to use from this story, that it was not gonna work for me to use those kinds of websites. Maybe one day I'll just cave and cross-post it, but for now I just want to like stick with doing things the way I find interesting and the way I think people will find interesting. I'm gonna try to go for like a weekend posting, like Saturday or Sunday maybe, early day posting every week, just so people have something to look forward to. Okay, but the characters. Anyways, we're not revealing them. Why did I write that? We're not revealing them. There's two characters right now revealed on the character page of Lestaria Depart. You'll be able to see in the story directory. Erna Di Belmonte, I mentioned her before. She appeared in the summary. And then there's Bella Caviarno, who's a little bit of an interesting case. Oh, I get the date. I'm gonna try the shoot for June 30th. But yeah, if anything changes, I'll say so. When I say change, it'll likely be like a week at most pushed back. I'm hoping for June 30th, because that's my birthday. It'll be such a nice birthday present to myself, you know? And as for the future, like I said, this is a multi-installment series. It's multiple arcs. This is gonna be the first arc. There's 3 parts of this story. And within each part, I have it planned as 3 arcs in the first part, 2 arcs in the second part, and 2 arcs in the third part. This is subject to change if I have any like grand ideas, but considering I've had this in my head for long enough, I feel like it's already cemented. I have the general beginnings and endings of each part in my head too, including the finale to it all, so I'm hoping those will act as a good guideline so I don't like go off the rails. Like, this is very much a story. It's just about the character moments as it is the action, so there will be like long like slice of life kind of scene. I like to slow down and like get to know people stuff a lot, so I wouldn't come here if you want non-stop action. I'm just saying, it's very much about the people, just as it is about everything that happens around them. The vibes, like I said, let me talk a bit more of the vibes of the writing, because that's definitely the most important. It's very cartoonish dark humor, right? With this story, I'd expect a bit more of I'm trying to go for a bit of a visual humor slant with it. You might ask, how do you do visual humor in a text-based medium? Well, it starts by not taking everything literally. Don't worry about taking everything literally. It's very much a bit cartoon in that sense, where a character can like fall from a great height and yet be completely fine. when it doesn't matter, but when it matters, you know. There's a bit of dark humor, but I went like mostly in like the kind of gore way. I'll be putting up like a bit of a content warning page. If you want to look at it, you can, but you don't have to. Alright, complex ensemble cast. I talked about this bit before. I don't want to like speak for the formatting, but I'm hoping to go with like a stuck in their own heads kind of vibe with it. You'll see what I mean. I'm just gonna say that. I'm trying to go with the stuck in your own head, literally unable to visualize what other people were saying and doing correctly. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for. That's all I'm gonna say. You'll see what I mean, hopefully. I'm hoping that people are willing to go with an open mind on these characters. Not to say we have like, oh yeah, it's just, these people are fucking terrible. Like, I tried to go for like a bit more of a real angle with stuff. We'll see. There's like some stuff I could see definitely be a bit unsavory about people. I'm hoping that like, oh, the writing will speak for itself and you'll be able to appreciate some like genuinely complex characters make you think. I put this as a single bullet point, but I guess if you're interested in stories with LGBT characters and all those symbols are in this story. But that's not the focus here. There's no homophobia arc or transphobia arc. They just kind of exist that way. I'm not gonna write any complex stories about bigotry. And then magic systems and complex world. I'm hoping to go like very interesting with the world building, have some fun with it, you know. We'll see how that goes. I've been putting up some world building pages, but they're mostly there for fun and for theorizing, and I'm hoping that all the information will come across within the story, so you could literally just understand the world building just by reading the story. Hopefully it'll serve as more of a reference guide than something you have to read to understand things. I pretty much just been going with that, so let's see. Thank you for being here. Look at these little guys that have no relevance for this conversation whatsoever. You might actually like, if you've seen the thumbnail, you might recognize these two. I'll talk about them a bit as a little treat. So you got in our upper left corner a very important character, all on the same level as Erna and Bella, or more so Bella, honestly. Sunny. That's it, it's just her name, Sunny. She like cast aside her last name due to reasons and now lives with little octopus hair in the quiet planet of Maya with her friends. And the other person in the corner, in the lower right corner, is Serena Danya. She is a sweet little gal who works closely with Erna specifically. and she is a spirit, which is not something I've elaborated on, but you know what would be a good time for? Posting a lore page after explaining what a spirit is. So I might just do that. But yeah, that's actually all I had down. We have these two little guys. We have our spirit, food spirit Serena, and our mysterious friend Sunny. Not mysterious to me, but mysterious to you guys.